Welcome back to Learn SKN, and today we have a Caribbean history paper for you, a paper 1, Caribbean history, June 2014. Caribbean history, June 2014, paper 1. So let's not waste any time. Number 1, which of the following best explains why the indigenous people migrated to the Americas from the original homelands? And so the best answer here is C. They were following herds of deer which they hunted. All right, so they came all across the Bering Straits and stuff in the frozen age and were able to end up down here. All right, number 2, which of the following statement is true of both Jamaica and Cuba at the time of Columbus's arrival in the Caribbean? B, they were inhabited by the Taínos. All right, so they were inhabited by the Taínos. Number 3, which of the following best describes the religious practices of Kalinagos and Taínos? The answer is B, nature worship and ancestor worship. Nature worship and ancestor worship. Number 4, the mayor obtained their food mainly by D, farming. Mayors are some of the best farmers back in the day. A lot of the stuff we use today, we learn some stuff from them. 5, which of the following best explains why the Kalinagos women spoke the Taínos language? The best answer here is B, Taino women were often captured by Kalinago warriors. Number 6, which is the correct order from most to least powerful of the European social groups in the 1400s? And so, of course, you have the kings at the top, which is D, the kings, the priests, the merchants, and of course, the lowly peasant at the bottom. Number 7, the main reason why the English attempted to break the Spanish monopoly in the New World was to B, obtain a share of the wealth of the New World. 8, which of the following reasons best explains why the Dutch may be called the foster fathers of the French and British settlers in the Caribbean in the 1600s? And the best answer here is D, the Dutch traders kept the settlers supplied with foodstuff and other essential goods. So the Dutch were not really into the slave trading that much. They would want to supply all the goods and services for the other nations. Number 9 refers to the following statement. The authorities began the practice of allowing the Spaniards to collect tribute from Indians. In return, the Spaniards had to see that the Indians were protected and converted to Christianity. Number 9, the practice referred to in this statement was known as, and the best answer here is D, the encomienda system. All right, the encomienda. Number 10, which of the following best explains the decline of tobacco planting in the British colonies in the 1630s? And the best answer here is B, there was a rapid decline in the price of tobacco. Rapid decline in the price of tobacco. Number 11, in the 1600s, Dutch islands in the West Indies were used mainly as, of course, they were the traders, so C, trading stations. Number 12, which of the following statement is true of the population of Barbados by the end of the 1600s? C, coloreds were far greater in number than whites. Coloreds were far greater in number than whites. 13, which of the following resulted from the sugar revolution in the Caribbean? Is it 1, mulatto population decline, 2, the black population increase, 3, the number of landowners declined? And so the best answer is C, 2 and 3, which is the black population increased, and 3, the number of landowners declined. All right, number 14. Which of the following ports were British slave ships most likely to visit during the 1700s? And of course, the answer here would be B, Kingston, because Havana and Rio de Janeiro and Port-au-Prince, most of them by then, were not controlled by the English. So Kingston, Jamaica was controlled by the English, and so B is the best answer there. Number 15, which of the following occurred as a result of the change from tobacco to sugar cane cultivation in the 1600s? And the best answer here is C, there was an increase in the size of land holdings because, plantation, sugar cane production takes a lot of land. Number 16, the mercantilism was the policy used by England and France to A, control the trade of their colonies. Number 17, which of the following was not included in the 1739 peace treaty between the Maroons of Trelawney Town in Jamaica and the British authorities, was not included. And the answer is B, the Maroons could accept any runaway slaves as members of their community. Number 18, in 1767, a major uprising of the enslaved Africans took place in the Dutch colony of Berbice. All right, the Berbice Rebellion, 1763. Number 19, Toussaint Louverture contributed to the success of the Haitian Revolution mainly by C, organizing the enslaved into a formidable fighting force. Number 20, which of the following were consequences of the Haitian Revolution? Is it A, all enslaved Africans were freed? 2, all mulattoes left the island? Or 3, the colony gained political independence? And of course the answer here is B, 1 and 3, the enslaved Africans were freed and the colony gained independence. 21, the arguments that the humanitarians of the 19th century Britain used against slavery were mainly B, moral. Alright, moral. Number 22, which of the following persons was not a leader in the humanitarian movement? Not a leader. And so the best answer here is A, Lord Mansfield. Number 23, which of the following was the main purpose of the policy of amelioration? And the best answer here is D, to improve the conditions of the enslaved in the British Caribbean. Number 24, the British government was reluctant to authorize African immigration after the abolition of slavery, mainly because B, the scheme would lead to a new form of slavery. 25, which of the following was the main reason Baptist missionaries helped to organize the free villages for formerly enslaved persons? C, to get more members of for their church. 26, the largest number of immigrants into the British Caribbean during the 19th century came from, of course, Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, can tell you, India. Number 27, which of the following best explains why Indian indentured workers were imported to Guyana but not Barbados after 1838? And the best answer here is A, Guyana had a greater shortage of labor than Barbados. 28. Large-scale immigration to Trinidad and Guyana between 1838 and 1870 led to, and so they have some options here, the cultural diversity in those territories, yes. Racial conflicts among the ethnic groups, yes. Economic development in both territories, yes. So the best answer is D, all of the above, 1, 2, and 3. 29. Indentured workers from Madeira brought elements of which culture to the British Caribbean? And of course, that's part of Portugal, so A, the Portuguese. Number 30. The majority of immigrants brought to work in the British Caribbean in the years between emancipation and the First World War were employed as D, unskilled laborers. 31 and 2 refers to the following information. William Knibb foresaw that planters would try to force extra work from their free laborers by increasing rent on homes on the estate. Which of the following best describe the response of free laborers in the Caribbean? And so we have here D, establishment of their homes off the plantation. And then we have which of the following was the micro charity mainly associated with? And the best answer is B, education. 33. Which of the following was not a means by which freedmen acquired land after emancipation? D, receiving land from the British government. 34. Which of the following was a consequence of the establishment of the peasantry in the large territories of the British West Indies? C, development of free villages. 35. The migrants from the East Caribbean island to Guyana and Trinidad after 1838 were interested mainly in A, seeking higher wages. 36. The policy by which the United States government was actively involved in directing the financial affairs of the Caribbean between 1905 and 1930 was known as, and that is called B, the dollar diplomacy. Alright, the dollar diplomacy. 37. Which of the following Caribbean territories was not occupied by the U.S. military force in the early 1900s? And so the answer is A, Jamaica. A, Jamaica. 38. Which of the following best summarize the stated aims of the Monroe Doctrine? And that is B, to prevent the new European colonization in the Americas. To prevent new European colonization in the Americas. America feel like this side of the world is theirs and they want the other European countries to be over here. Alright, for 39, the adherence of the United States to the Monroe Doctrine may force the United States, however reluctantly, in cases of wrongdoing or impotence, to exercise of the international police force. The above statement is associated with President C. Theodore Roosevelt. Alright, Theodore Roosevelt. Number 40, Fidel Castro overthrew the government of Fulgencio Batista by, and the best answer here is D, organizing armed internal uprisings. 41. Which of the following persons was not an outstanding figure in the development of the trade union movement in the British Caribbean? And so the best answer here is D. Samuel Jackman Prescott. 42. Which of the following personalities was not directly associated with the riots of the 1930s in the British Caribbean? And so the best answer here is A. George, Prince of Belize. 43. The unrest of the 1930s in the British Caribbean was caused mainly by the 1. Increased cost of living, 2. High levels of unemployment, 3. Return of West Indians from overseas, and the best answer here is B. 1 and 2. Increased cost of living and high level of unemployment. 44. During the post-1938 period, trade unions in the British Caribbean sought mainly to D. Improve wages and living conditions. Number 45. Marcus Garvey is best remembered for his B. Teachings on black nationalism. 46. Refers to the following statement: 1 from 10 leaves not. Classic. 46. Which of the following is the above statement associated with? And the best answer is, the only answer here is C. Jamaica's decision to withdraw from the Federation. Jamaica's decision to withdraw from the Federation. Controversial, eh? 47. Which of the following territories did not join the British West Indian Federation? A. Guyana and Belize. Number 48. Which of the following considerations most influenced the decision to form the British West Indies Federation in 1958? The answer is B. Federation would help the independence movement. 49. Which of the following Caribbean territories were assimilated by France in 1946? And of course, you know that's C. Guadeloupe, French Guiana, and Martinique. 50. In what order did the following countries gain political independence? We have Guyana, Jamaica, Grenada, and of course Grenada is the youngest of the bunch, so that would be last. And so we have number 2 first, which is Jamaica, then Guyana, and then Grenada. 51. In which chronological order did the following events take place in the British Caribbean? So we have 1. End of apprenticeship scheme. 2. Passage of the Act to abolish the trade of captive Africans. 3. Emancipation of enslaved Africans. And so the chronological order here would be C. Passage of the Act, which is 2. Passage of the Act to abolish the trade of captive Africans, followed by 3. Emancipation of the slaves, and then 1. The end of apprenticeship scheme. 52. The main source of dispute between planters and the formerly enslaved during the apprenticeship was A. Wages, because they want to pay the people the money. 53. What were the major exports to the British Caribbean territories in the late 19th century? And so we have D. Bananas and bauxite. Bananas and bauxite. 54. In which chronological order did the British Caribbean planters face competition from the following? French beet sugar, Cuban slave-grown sugar, sugar from Saint Domingue, and so we have here, the best answer is C, which is sugar from Saint Domingue, then we have Cuban slave-grown sugar, then we have French beet sugar. 55. Jose Marti is associated with the struggle for independence in A. Cuba. 56 refers to this diagram right here. Territories refers to the following chart, which shows sugar production in 4 British Caribbean territories during the periods 1815 to 1894. Which of the following trends in production between 1815 and 1894 is indicated in the chart above? And the best answer here is D. Sugar production in one territory declined steadily between 1815 and 1894. All right. 57. The Cuban sugar industry in the 1800s received most of its capital from A. the US. 58. In which chronological order did the following countries develop in the Caribbean? The following industry developed in the Caribbean. And so we have here, we would have, first one would be, of course, sugar, so that's 2. And then we have banana, and then we have petroleum. So that's C, sugar, followed by banana, followed by petroleum. 59. Which of the following West Indian personalities will not placed beside the island which they served? And so the best answer is Mauricio for Trinidad. All right, B, Mauricio, Trinidad. Number 60. In which chronicle order did the following events occur? We have the Cuban Revolution, Haitian Revolution, the Grenadian Revolution. And so the best answer here is C. Haitian Revolution was first, then the Cuban Revolution, and then the Grenadian Revolution. All right, so that's it for this history paper. All right, I know that not everybody's doing history across the region, but it's a good subject to do still. But that's it for now. You know what you have to do now: like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when SKN Learn SKN would have dropped another video. All right, so that's it for now.